School of Lock. Determination is the key to success and survival. Releasing September 21st, 2023, the event follows the commander after he receives a letter asking him to participate as an examiner during a large-scale exam at the M.M.R Vocational School, an exam that bears significant weight on the test taker's futures. Releasing along with the event is Marciana, a teacher at M.M.R Vocational School and the main character of this event's story. School of Lock is currently available in the archives. Rewards for clearing this event include a lobby background. Students gather together in preparation for a class picture. Ein, Zwei, Rai, and Marciana all get into position. Zwei places down a stool for Rai so she can be tall enough, but Marciana's mind is elsewhere, a fact that is obvious on her face as the photographer asks her to smile. 3, 2, 1. The photo is taken. After the students return to their dorms, someone is writing a letter to the commander, inviting him to be an examiner for the upcoming exams. After finishing the letter, the individual reassures themselves, saying that they hope he'll come. The commander shares his invitation with Rappy, Anise, and Neon, all of whom express concerns with him spending time at M.M.R Vocational School. The school trains new Nikkes in how to fight raptures and work with a commander. However, there is little information known about this school, except that it is owned by M.M.R, Marcellus Military Research, a branch of Marcellus Industries that focuses on combat studies and weapon development. Meaning Siwin is the school director. Anise and Neon joke about the invitation, but Rabbi takes it seriously, as she always does. After saying goodbye, the commander heads out. Walking through the school gates, he spots Naga and Tia and starts chatting before Marciana finds him and leads him into a meeting room, explaining what the exams are and the two phases that take place. Overseeing the written exams and being the substitute commander for the practical exam. After finishing up, they run into Rai in the hallway, but Rai insists that she doesn't need to take the exams. But after failing to convince Marciana, she runs away crying. Then they run into Zwei, constantly telling other students and the commander to walk on the right side of the hallway for good luck. Lastly, they run into Ein, who can't stop shaking her leg because she is nervous. Along the way to the commander's temporary room, students around him are all on edge, nervous for the exams to come. Unable to sleep, the commander goes for a midnight walk and runs into Ether, a researcher at M.M.R. She tells him that everything here is curated by M.M.R, from the curriculum down to the exams. After finishing their chat, the commander returns to his accommodations. The written exams start in the morning. With students toiling away, the exam passes quickly. The practical exam is soon to start. Being briefed by Marciana, she explains he'll be the commander for the students. Up on the surface, the students will be fighting real raptures, or die trying. The commander's outraged, but Marciana snaps back at him, reminding him that the students are still Nikkes and that this is a major test of their skills. The commander asks if she approves of this, and Marciana explains that there is so much about the school she despises, but is powerless to change thanks to M.M.R. But thankfully, due to investors wanting to spectate the exam this year, it will be held inside the training room instead. Introducing the commander to his squad of students, Ein, Zwei, Rai, and an absent Tercera, who remained in her dorm after the written exam. After explaining the upcoming practical exam, Marciana leaves. The three present students speak with confidence, much to the surprise of the commander. The next day in the preparation room for the practical exam, Tercera is still missing. Not in her dorm, not anywhere. Suddenly a fire alarm blares out. Marciana decides to go out and look for Tercera after having suspicions. Since the exam this year was in the training room, not on the surface, the exams will continue as scheduled. The commander decides to follow Marciana and help her look for Tercera. After catching up with Marciana, she explains that they need to go to the burning building, and that it's likely that it's Tercera who started the fire to stop the exams. Suspecting Tercera did not know that the exam had changed locations this year, she leads the commander to the place where Tercera is hiding, the one place she hated most, the elevator to the surface. Finding Tercera disguised as a mass-produced Nikke, Soldier F.A., Marciana tries to convince her to hurry back to the exams while there is still time. Tercera laughs and refuses, explaining that she knows what's really going on in M.M.R Vocational School. If you fail the exams, your mind is wiped. You are reset. It doesn't matter what year you are in, everything is erased, and you enter the school like nothing ever happened. Your appearance is altered to hide the fact that it is the same student as before, and after 3 resets, they are taken to the research lab and never seen again, used as lab rats until they die. Pulling out a detonator, she tells Marciana and the commander to leave so she can blow up the elevator to the surface and go out on her own terms. Marciana says she won't stand for this. Pulling out her sidearm, she shoots Tercera. Knocking the remote out of her hand with the bullet, Marciana tells her what a teacher's duty truly is. To see when the students go down the wrong path, and to help them correct their course. As a teacher, her hands are tied. She can't take the exams for the students, nor can she erase her own memories in their stead. She has no power, no authority. All she can do is teach the curriculum they provide for her, support them in their darkest hours, and most painfully, but most importantly, watch and not look away. That is the role she has been given. Marciana tells Tercera that she is wrong to give up, that she will pass the exams, will receive her diploma, and will leave with her head held high. Even if Tercera doesn't believe in herself, Marciana believes in her. No teacher should ever give up on their students, no matter what. Leading a shaken Tercera back to her squad, she readies herself for the exam. Reuniting with her squad, they promise to get parfaits afterwards. And with the commander in charge, they pass with an exemplary score. After the exams, Marciana asks to speak with the commander in private, promising to answer any questions that he had. One of the requirements for being an examiner is to never have gone to the surface, something that he should never have been chosen for due to his prior experience, unless specifically requested. To that, she admits it was her. He asks her why, and she asks him if this place feels like a normal school, to which she explains it is more like a laboratory, seeing what the students can handle rather than what they can learn. She hopes that one day everyone will know about the truth of M.M.R Vocational School, and that he'd be a witness to the injustice and cruelty here, even if she were to disappear. She wants to go against the school, but does not have the power to do so yet, and that is why she roped him in, promising to be honest with him moving forward and to never disappear. A new semester starts. 1, 2, I and Tercera meet in class, excited for what's to come this year. A new semester for those who have remained, and for those who have left. Meanwhile, in a dark office, Marciana writes away on an attendance book. One by one, student by student, she writes their fate. Pass, fail, and reset. Pass, fail, and reset. Permanently expelled. Clenched in her fist are the names of those she was able to protect, and those she wasn't.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
There is a common trope in media, fighting the power, rising against the man and beating the system, sticking it to the man. That is something in fantasy and in media that a lot of people appreciate, respect, and enjoy. But in reality, that is not something that can necessarily so easily be done, especially by one individual. Marciana is in that situation. She is in the situation where she is an Elysian teacher at a M.M.R Vocational School. She has to teach what has been provided for her to teach. She has to follow orders. She has to follow everything to the T, all the while standing by while all these atrocities happen, while all these bad things happen to the students. All she can do is try her best to make sure that they succeed, that they're supported, and that they're cared for. Because every new face she sees is probably one of the same kids that she had to write down that failed the test. She doesn't know who stays, she doesn't know who goes, she doesn't know who comes back. All she can do is write down their fates, as is according to M.M.R instructions. Marciana, though she struggles, she's smart. She knows the limits of her authority. She knows the limits of her capabilities, and that's why she reaches out to the commander. She wants him to be a witness to the atrocities there, to the bad things happening, and Ether doesn't deny anything that happens. She's like, oh no, yeah, I know what's going on. I know you know what's going on. The M.M.R, they are a deep part of the ARC's resources, the ARC's functions. They need to develop new weapons. When mass-produced Nikkes are created, they are put out there. Their software, their programming, implanted upon creation. Soldier FA, Soldier EG, Product 12, Product 23, any of those that put out there, Idol Sun, Idol Flower. They are produced and follow a protocol. They have no autonomy. They only follow orders. But this event touches on the individual Nikkes, the ones that have personality, thoughts, ones that can think for themselves. How do they grow? How do they become stronger? M.M.R Vocational School is one of those places. All the students you see there are from Massilis industry. So you have a Massilis school teaching Massilis students about war and combat and how to fight. But like Marciana says, this is less so of a school and more so of a laboratory, seeing what the students can handle and what they can be put through before they eventually go through a mind switch or die. She is not blind to the atrocities. Marciana knows what's going on, but she also knows the limits of her strengths. She also knows what she can and cannot do. And that's why this event is so cool, is because it touches on a topic that came out of the blue. A lot of these older events, they delve into the lore and the story and the world of Nikke instead of, as opposed to newer events, which are mainly just useless fluff. But these older events, they give us insight into the facets and answer questions that we didn't really expect to have or that we didn't know that we needed answered. Another thing that this event shows us is the realism of the Nikke universe. It shows that manufacturers are companies doing their jobs, doing what they do best. Massilis is great at research and development. R&D is the name of their game. And they figure out new strategies, create new weapons. That's their whole thing. They train up other people. They're good with technology and they're good with academics. So who better to teach military and combat prowess than a teacher from Elysian? We get to see the intricacies of how different manufacturers interact with each other and that they have deals going on behind the scenes for the betterment of the Ark. Being able to see the intricacies and the actual operations of behind the scenes, because this is humanity's last stand, the last bastion, the Ark. It's do or die. And that is why it is important for manufacturers, even though they are their own, have their own CEOs, for them to work together. It helps us see the humane side, the human side of these characters. Because everything is not dissimilar to how it is in the real world in terms of operations, and that is one of the best things about this event. If you've made it to the end of the video, please consider subscribing and comment down below another event you'd like me to cover. I enjoy covering these events, and we'll see whenever we get to the big ones. We'll see how that goes.